So Neil says English, Spanish, and Portuguese are responsible for the ships and many others. Nowhere in history have they marked Jews as having ships. The Portuguese were the last to transport slaves. Okay, let's look at it. All right, let's look at this book called Chosen People from the Caucasus. See, we have to stop relying on our fifth grade education. You see, our fifth grade history classes. We have to expand our horizons. We have to actually read books. We can't always be, relying on what, our government system, our government education, has taught us. All right, so let's go inside the book. It says, the point of all this is that we now come to an issue not presented in any popular history of the Jewish people or any of the numerous books on anti Semitism. Not a whisper or reference to it has entered our public school system. See, this is why Neo isn't aware of this. And it is simply that Jews were major participants in a genocide of American Indians as conquistadors. So these so called Ish people were the conquistadors and were major participants in the greatest human tragedy history knows. No, not Hitler, Holocaust, not Hitler's Holocaust. So this uh this thing that the conquistadors did was greater than Hitler's Holocaust. More people were slaughtered during this event. All right, let's read this. It says, now this must have been the case because it was the conquistadors who first murdered and then enslaved the American Indians during the first century of colonialism. Before this first century of exploitation was half over, the supply of American Indians had already gotten scarce in some places. Then the idea of importing black Africans in large quantities to replace them was conceived. Indeed, the slave trade became the largest single European maritime activity, since, on much evidence, Jews were well represented among the conquistadors, if not an actual majority of the first waves of them. And since Jews virtually controlled the administrative and financial aspects of European maritime commerce, the conclusion is inescapable that Jews must have had a large profitable role in New World genocide and slavery. See that? There is no way to estimate the number of victims. Reasonable estimates suggest that from 10 to 15 million Amerindians and Africans perished in slavery. But some estimates range as high as 100 million victims. So this proves that the Ish people, they own the ships. You see, they were explicit in the transatlantic slave trade. So think about it. If you wanted to erase someone's heritage, their nationality, their language, strip them of God's laws, take over their land, steal their land from them, what better way to do it than to round them all up, put them on slave ships, and ship them to the other side of the world? So the blacks, the Hispanics, and Native American people that are dwelling here in America today originally came from the land of Israel. The people that are living in Israel today stole that land in 1948 with the Balfour Declaration. Look it up. So the name of the book is Chosen People from the Caucasus. Those people dwelling in Israel today are from the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia. Hence the book title. Notice the side of the book. It says Jewish origins, delusions, deceptions, and historical role in the slave trade, genocide, and cultural colonization, meaning cultural identity theft. That is history.